Hello YouTube, my name is Fantasize, and I would like to welcome you to a brand new series for a brand new channel on a very old game called Vendetta Online. Now, this video is going to be about the top 10 things I wish I knew about the HUD that I wish I utilized that I do now and I just recently learned. So I hope you can gain some sort of information from this video, but without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into it. The very first thing that I want to cover, this is more so for the newer players that I see often talking to each other in the general chat about things that probably shouldn't be on it. The first thing is number one, chat commands. So there's two that I'm going to cover. I'm not going to cover all of them because there's kind of a lot and it's used for a very large variety of things. So the first one I want to get into is slash message, which this is what you use to PM people. So for example, I'm going to slash MSG space, and then if you're playing on PC, you can use the tab key to hot select someone's name. For example, I'm going to pick Toxic Avenger 1 because he's the first person I saw. I'm going to say hi. Alright, this is what you use to PM people. No one else will see it, provided someone doesn't tell them or take a screenshot or whatever. So noobs out there, use it, okay? That is your greatest tool to talk to someone one-on-one. Another thing about chat is something you guys should know is how to change channels. Look at him, he responded. That's so cute. All right, is how to change channels. For example, it's really simple. It's just slash J space and then a number. So you can join channel 100. This is actually very useful because one thing you may not know is that certain guilds actually have their own general chats, or own channels is a better term, that you can actually have access to communicate with them easier. So I don't know what they are off the top of my head, but do keep an eye out and activate the channel if you ever want to get in contact with a specific guild for business or whatever, or maybe you want to join. This is a good way to do it. So if you're stuck in help, just like you are whenever you first start the game, all you have to do is type in slash J space 100 and that'll put you in the actual general chat for the game. Alright, so the second thing I want to get into is groups. So this is something that I actually took me a minute to figure out and get a full understanding for. That's under here, select ship, configure ship here, groups. So how this works is this allows you, well actually let me pick a ship real quick. Yeah, this is a bad example. Here we go, Centaur, let's pick a Centaur. Alright, so you gotta configure ship and then groups, right? This allows you to change whenever you're out in space. This allows you to change what buttons, your mouse buttons, do what. For example, right now, whenever I press my left mouse button, it'll actually fire my small port right here, right? And if I fire my secondary trigger, which is my right mouse button, it will fire both of these if you select it, because it's surrounded in blue. So one really important value of this, that this allows you to kind of edit and change how your weapons sort of interact. For example, like one thing you'll start to get a little bit more into once you get later down the road of the game is swarm stacking, which is essentially just using swarms and, well, stacking them to deal a very high amount of burst damage, essentially. You can actually edit and change how they interact to make it a little bit easier, so that way you're not pressing like multiple buttons or whatever. It's actually really useful and really beneficial. The more you play, the more you'll realize that there's different groups that are valuable for different things and different ship loadouts and such. So be sure to use this. It's very valuable. You have 6 different saves that you can utilize. I recommend using all of them. Alright, and that's kind of all I have to say about groups. Number 3 is setting presets. So whenever you go to buy and you want to buy a ship, you have these down here, which these are presets to kind of buy back an entire loadout for a ship. It's pretty simple. Here's where you buy them under the buy tab. If you go to manage and then select ship, it'll actually allow you to set one. So for example, if I really like using this weird setup for a Centaur, I can set it as preset 4, and if I ever want to buy it, I can, because it'll be right here. You only have 4 slots, but I recommend using them because once you get a little bit farther into the game, or if you already are, you will be using a lot of the same ship loadout. And for example, if you're trying to defend a station and there's a specific loadout that you really enjoy, this is a way to kind of get out into the fight faster, because all you have to do is press a button and go. Although you should know that you can't you won't get the entire loadout if the station can't supply it or you don't already have it. So for example, I'm in M7 right now, which is only for creating cap ships. They don't actually have any ships, as you can tell by the buy ships tab being basically empty aside from a basic ship. If I were to click on a Ragnarok Mark III, nothing would happen because it doesn't know what it isn't, because they don't have it. So do be aware of that, and only try to use the loadout if you're in this station. It's really unfortunate that it doesn't work 100%, but not much you can really do. Number 4, this one is a little bit more important now for me, especially since I'm kind of on and off with the game, is mission notes. So mission notes is very valuable because you can actually store great tips and information, such as the ones I am giving you in this video right now, or just general knowledge and little ideas that you have. This is a great place to store all of it. So if you have a really special way of trading to make a lot of money, this is a good place to put it. If you know about some really good, mining strategies or whatever, this is also a good place to put that kind of information, because I can almost guarantee you there's enough information that you won't remember all of it. So this is a good place to do it. As you can tell, I didn't utilize this very well because mine is completely and utterly empty. I have absolutely nothing in any of these, but that's why I'm trying to tell you, hop on it as soon as you can, so that way you can fill these puppies up and have an absolute wealth of information. All right. Number 5 is the sensor log. So this is kind of what's the word? Kind of self-explanatory, but I just wanted to touch up on one of the primary uses of it that makes it a lot more beneficial. Whenever I first started the game, I never really cared much about the sensor log because I was like, oh, someone's here, what does it matter? But the main point that I want to settle upon is the fact that this actually allows you, if you click on the names whenever you're out in space, it allows you to specifically select whatever target you're clicking on. So for example, once you start farming bots to get specific drops, only certain bot types will actually drop the item you're looking for, and you can easily find and select them through using your sensor log. So just be aware of that and utilize it, because it'll be a lot more beneficial than just flying around and constantly pressing one of your bracket keys hoping that you'll select the bot you're looking for. All right. So number 6 is almost the entire comms tab. I basically pretended that this didn't exist whenever I first started because I always thought all the information was kind of irrelevant and dumb. Turns out it's actually a lot more important than I thought. So for example, this is actually really useful. I feel like these are kind of underestimated in terms of profit you can make early game, since you can't just haul like an absolute buttload of stuff. This is a great way to make a little bit of cash whenever you're first starting out. It's of course the daily trade report, and it allows you to see what stations want what from where, because they will buy it off of you for a slightly or typically higher price than usual. Take advantage of it. It can make you a lot of money. Enough said. Now there are other things like the bounty hunters report. If you become a bounty hunter, you can actually see who has what bounty is on them. So if you want to become a bounty hunter, of course you do have to select one based off of whatever nation space you're in. But otherwise, there's a lot of other really good little nitpicks of information that you can find in the news. I suggest keeping up with it, so that way you can always be typically mostly informed. Alright, the next thing is the buddies and group tab. Me being silly man, had no idea how this worked because all I knew is that you can do the chat command. But essentially, what this allows you to do, aside from inviting and accepting buddy requests, is it actually lets you see if they're logged in or not. It tells you their name, and there's a little tab right here, or a little, whatever you want to call it, selectable, that allows you to see what their location is, or show what your location is, or let them see yours. So you can actually do that. So take advantage if you're ever looking for a friend, or you're new and there's someone you really like to play with, just friend them. If you're trying to find a guy, instead of saying, hey bro, where are you on 100, you can just check here. It's so simple. Do it, new guys. It'll work wonders for you, I promise. Okay. The next thing is to create groups. Same thing for the new guys. If you're playing with someone a lot and you really enjoy working together, create a group. That gives you access to the group chat channel, which is amazing because then you can stop talking on 100 about all your personal business and getting you ganked by pirates. Trust me, it's just great. Just do it. It's important. But it also gives you a lot more information, constantly updates their location as to where they are, of course. So definitely utilize it. It's very, very important and you'll benefit a lot from it. Oh, and one thing I want to cover about it also is that whenever you're doing missions together, um, you'll have to be in a group if you want to get shared XP from that mission. So definitely group up and then play with people so that way you guys can both get experience as opposed to only the person who requested and accepted the mission getting it. This is another thing I'm just going to touch on really light is this blurb right here, this little paragraph of text actually tells you how to join and not how to join, how to create a guild. So if you're ever interested in creating a guild, this is kind of where you do it. I'm not really going to go super in depth about it because, well, one, I don't have too much experience in creating my own guild because all I've done is just join others. But if you look or want to build a guild, this will tell you how to do it. This is pretty self-explanatory. If someone is being mean or whatever, you can just ignore them and this will show their names and how long you ignored them for. Friend keys, this is only for people who are subbed, but you get friend keys that allow people to have up to 2 weeks of full subscription, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but as you can tell, it also renews every month. So I have 5 because I don't ever use them because I don't have any friends that don't have a sub. So any new subscribers or whatever, or new players trying to get into the game that want a little extra help, just put something down in the comments saying, hey, can I get a friend key? I got 5. I don't mind handing one out if I see you in game. So just keep note of that. Number 7 is the inventory slot. This was actually a lot more important than I realized early game because I was always constantly stressing out about where stuff was, and I also had an alternative at the time. So this tells you where literally every item you own is, in what system, in what station, and where. Very beneficial once you start manufacturing your capital ship and you're trying to find specific items and be like, oh my gosh, where did I put my 5k SSS? I don't remember. This will tell you where. Same thing applies for your capital ship if you're already flying one. If you already have one built, this is one I actually didn't know until recently. Here it'll actually show you where your capital ship is if you just click on it, and it'll tell you what station it's in, so do be aware of that. The next thing I want to go over is the cargo tab, because it was actually very recently a brand new update, and I'm going to see if I can show what that's all about. So let me select this behemoth and let me load up some of these 3 airlock maintenance supplies. So this is super cool because of this little blurb right here. Okay, so this is a new update. I want to say within the past 2 weeks maybe, but essentially what it is this will actually tell you what's the best system profit that you can make off of a specific item and where. So for example, if I wanted to sell these 3 airlock maintenance supplies, I could sell them at Lato C2 for a 5k profit, almost 6k, which is absolutely amazing. And the galactic best price is to sell them in Azek for a 10k profit. This is amazing because once you fill up your XC or whatever ship you have, it'll actually tell you where you can make the most money. So now trading is a lot easier because before there was like an entire process to figure out what was good outside of your own system. So adding this was an amazing addition. So new players, just know about this. Money is a cornerstone of this game, and now here's a very simple and easy way to make it. All right. Oh man. Number 9 is navigation. So this is similar to mission notes. If you ever find a really cool sector, or you find a really good place to mine, or you farm bots in a specific place, I heavily recommend using this tip right here. Okay, and that is navigation notes. Now, you do not believe how long it took me to figure this out. Okay, I always saw this and was like, it says list notes, but I can never remember how to make them or how to put them down. All you have to do is hover over it with your mouse and press A, which is the simplest thing in the world. You can do whatever you want. You can just have something simple as hi. You can change the color to be anything you want, and it puts like a slight little overlay over it. For example, like that. Now, if you are like me and you forget things really easily, and you have absolutely no idea where you put that note, you can do this. This is what list notes is for. It'll show you all of your notes. As you can see, here's all of my notes because I just started actually using it. Here's this note. It says it's in H5. So if I go to H5 right there, bam, it's right there. So utilize this a crap ton. So that way, to the point that you can select any system, and you'll just have a gang load of notes to know where everything is. That'll become a lot more imperative once you start mining a lot more, once you start farming bot drops a lot more. You'll need to have access to that information, so the sooner you start cataloging it, the better off you'll be. Number 9, the 9th tip I want to offer to you guys is going into options, advanced interface, and using this. Okay, so the first thing I want to cover over is the hail message. Essentially what this is, if you're flying around space and you just so happen to run into the bad part of town, and some weirdo Randy PMs you lightning fast saying, hey, give me your stuff or else I'm gonna explode you, this is most likely how he did it. He used a hail message, which essentially, whenever you target a player and you hit your hail hotkey, I don't remember what it is by default, it'll automatically PM that player whatever you write here. It can be high, it doesn't have to be something super angry, sad, or negative, but that's what this is. If you want to have some sort of quick message or whatever, this is a way to do it. Another thing I recommend doing is once you join a guild, typically that guild will ask you to report your location in chat. This only applies to like guild chat, PMs, and some other stuff if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly what they all are, but guild specifically, because what'll happen is some players will have like an alt account in a guild and then play on their main account as like a pirate, and so they'll see your location in guild chat, come over, blow you up, rob you, do whatever, and that's bad. So typically you just want to keep that hidden unless you tell someone specifically. Another thing you want to activate on the flip side is show guild tag in chat log. Essentially what this is that whenever you're in general, so channel 100, it'll actually tell you what guild everyone is in if they're in one. This is really beneficial to know what's up, who's on, and if you want to contact a specific guild, you know that you can talk to that player, so utilize that, take advantage of that. Here is where you can fondle around with the UI and font. That's super cool. And then the other thing that you should know is the HUD settings. I don't know what they are by default because I'm pretty sure I checked almost like all of them, but essentially this allows you to customize your HUD. So it's that little screen you see whenever you're out in space, you know, that holds like your energy level, your health, and your cargo hold and all that stuff. You can control it with this. So I recommend scrolling through this and seeing what you do like, what you don't like, to get it a little more customized and possibly help you out with make you a little bit better flying out in space. Especially this one, show velocity direction indicator. All it does is just shows you what direction your ship is actually moving in, so that's super beneficial. Okay, and that's all for the interface, but there's still one more that said top 10. All right. Number 10 is a very important one. Okay, I need you guys to listen very closely because this right here, this is what you want to hear. It's subscribing to this channel and clicking the notification bell to be among the first to take advantage of the information that I offer and future tips before anyone else. Because you do not want to be the guy that shows up late to the mining party. Oh my gosh, the mining party, because I'm going to be at some point dropping information as a good place to farm bot drops, good places to get certain ores. You want to be able to get there first, because if you don't, there's going to be those people that are going to boil all of it to over 10k, and you're not going to be able to get much out of it. So you want to be there first. Also, do like the video, because one of my main goals for this channel is to bring more recognition to the wonderful game that is Vendetta Online. This game has a lot of potential, the dev is amazing, and the players are also just as awesome. So I want people to recognize that, so please get the video out, share it, like, comment, subscribe, do whatever those YouTube things do. I hope regardless of your experience, you're able to gain something from this video, regardless of, you're old or new, good or bad, anything. If you think I missed anything, please post a comment in the comment section down below, so that way I could at some point maybe make a revision or edit it in some way to kind of get the word out. That's about it. My name is Fantasize, and I'll see you guys in the next video.